If you were genuinely unhappy about your position, you would not be coming to me for motivation. If you were genuinely pissed off about your situation, you would not need me to motivate you. You would motivate your fucking self, and you would do something to change it yourself. But you don't.
People often say, if you try your best, it's okay to fail. But what they don't understand, the true secret to the universe is that if you try your best, you never fail.
Yeah.
That's what people don't understand. And most people aren't trying. They aren't trying. They don't know what trying is. In fact, that's probably one of the things I hear the most. I used to hear the most because I don't talk to people anymore because they all annoy me. I'm trying. No, you're not. You don't know what trying is. No, you are not trying. I know you're not trying. I know, because as we sat here before we went to speak, you weren't on your phone working. You weren't trying. You were standing around talking shit to some idiot. You're not trying. People are genuinely not out here giving their absolute best, because if you were, you'd have everything you've ever desired. You'd have anything you've ever wanted and asked for. Instead, what people do is they cope and convince themselves they're trying. Oh, I tried, but I need a work-life balance, and it's hard, and I was trying. All garbage, it's all cope. And like I said earlier, life is war. If you're a man and you don't view the world as war, I can't imagine how you view the world. My entire worldview is war.
A loser. What's the definition of a loser? I think the universe is absolutely and utterly giving. I've never seen anybody dedicate themselves to something completely and fail. I've never seen somebody eat right, go to the gym every day, train really hard, and not be in good shape. I've literally never seen it. The universe is extremely giving. If you actually try, and you actually want it, and you're actually not making excuses, lying, talking shit, you're gonna get what you want. So when I see people who don't have what they want, I consider them losers. And this may be elitist, I understand that. But if I've put myself through endless pain to end up where I am, it's very hard for me to have sympathy on the man who's afraid of pain. You're avoiding pain. I've been through endless. I now have everything I've ever desired. You have none of the things you desire. Am I supposed to feel sorry for you because you took the easy way out? Am I supposed to look at you and go, oh, poor dude? No, you were a fucking coward. You didn't go through the shit I went through. You didn't put it on the line. So you deserve your substandard reality. That's what you deserve. You're a fucking loser. Because if you actually wanted it and you actually tried, you'd have it.
Everybody always says, if you tried your best, that's all that matters. The best is all you can do. If you tried your best, it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if you lose if you tried your best. Most people have heard that before. But there is a secret to the universe that most don't know. If you actually try your best, you can't lose.
You're not going to argue with yourself about what mentality you should have or how you should implement a mindset to be most combatively effective and what's going to make things work the best. If you're already working the best, you're not going to doubt your mind if you're already massively successful in all realms. The reason none of my enemies can convince me the way I think is wrong is because I outperform them. How can you tell me that my mindset is wrong and the way I think and act is not the correct way to be a man if I ruthlessly outperform everybody at everything? I'm better under stress. I'm more successful. I'm more well-known. Why would I want the mentality of these little trolls who nobody even knows who they are? They're insignificant nobodies. Why would I want to adopt the thinking of sad losers when I can be a competent, capable, and happy winner? And this is extremely important. I keep applying it back to politics, but let's keep it on the mindset here. If you start to succeed in the way you need to succeed, you will no longer doubt your thinking patterns. Why would you go to a therapist? Why would you go to some idiot and beg them to change the way you think and feel if it was leading you to where you wanted to go? If the way you thought and the way you felt, even if it was negative and sad, even if it wasn't a positive feeling, was giving you the results that you wanted, you would still want to retain that mindset. This is extremely important. There is a huge percentage of the populace which they're beyond saving because of the worst thing you can possibly be, which is a quitter. Being a quitter is the worst thing you can possibly be. God himself can't make a quitter important because the only reason the place you're trying to get to has value is because it was difficult to reach. If everybody could reach it, there'd be no value. Value is linked to scarcity.
The whole point gold is valuable is because it's not everywhere. If it was everywhere, it wouldn't have any value. The reason the place you're trying to reach is valuable is because people can't get there. So if you're the kind of person who quits, you're never going to get there. Quitters are the worst. You could give a quitter a map, a treasure map, and a hot air balloon and say, it's going to take you right to the treasure. It's going to be a 7-day journey.
But if
here's
it's
a
too long,
sandwich.
yeah.
And halfway through, they'll be like, oh, I'm cold.
Yeah, you
And
just
they'll
said that, 7 days? Nah.
Yeah, and they'll quit.
Yeah.
Quitters will never make it. And there's a huge subsect of the populace who are basically simply quitters. I've never in my life seen anyone who's determined to get something not get it. I've never seen somebody who is determined in their heart to get something not get it. The universe and God is so giving and providing. People think it's difficult out here. I disagree. I've never seen someone wake up and say, nah, this is all I care about. This is all I want. Not get it. Everyone who thought that way in fighting was a world champion. Everyone who thought that way about money was rich. I've never seen anyone fail. Bro, I've seen people with no credit score and no job determined to get an R8 manage to get one on finance somehow. I've seen it. If it's all you want, you're going to get it.
You're going to find a way to
You're
get
going
it.
to find a way.
Yeah.
People go, oh, I want this. If you wanted it, you'd have it.
Literally, I spoke to a man who had done a podcast recently, and he was saying if someone had a gun to your children's head and said to you, the only way I'm going to move this gun is by you making $1 million, you are going to make $1 million quid.
100%.
Yeah.
You're gonna be motivated for the first time in your life.
The only way you can succeed in life as a man is if you take absolute responsibility for everything all of the time. You have to sit there and say, every single thing that happens in my life is my fault, even if it feels like it's not. I've never seen somebody who loses faith in themselves end up succeeding. You have to keep the faith in yourself. You lose faith in yourself.
Yeah,
If the Matrix if you allow the Matrix attack to convince you to not have faith in yourself, you're never going to make it. Have you ever seen anybody who's done anything fantastic and they didn't have faith in themselves? When they got to the top, they go, I should don't know,
Life is actually easier as a whole if you see yourself as a hero. Because in every single hero story, the hero suffers. He has a hard time. And if you understand that you're suffering because you're a hero, then the suffering begins to make sense. So you can be sitting here right now going, my woman doesn't respect me, I have no money in the bank, this is difficult, I'm struggling here, I'm struggling there. You can feel sorry for yourself, or you can say, yeah, my woman doesn't respect me, I'm struggling, I can't make money, but you know what, that's because I'm a fucking superhero. And my life's gonna be hard, because I'm a man. And as a hero, it's gonna be difficult. These are the tests and the trials and tribulations I have to go through to become someone.
Most people misunderstand what trying means because it's actually extremely lazy for you as a person to give up and work a 9 to 5 for the rest of your life as opposed to trying to find a way to escape it. It's actually lazier. It takes more laziness to go to work every single day for the next 40 years than it would be for you to sit and use your mind and try and find a way to escape. You say, I'm not lazy, I work every day. But you are lazy because you can't be bothered to think outside of your box. That is laziness. I can't even call it constructive laziness. It's active laziness. I'm not lazy, I work really hard. Yes, you do work really hard because you were too lazy to find a way to not work hard. So you're lazy. It's actually very doable for anybody who will pay attention. I've said this before. There's only 3 reasons why anybody on the planet is broke in the modern world. If you're born in the West and you have access to the internet, which you do because you're watching this, and you're a fully functioning adult, there's only 3 reasons why you do not have everything you've ever wanted. All of your dreams have not come true, which means you're either stupid, you're lazy, or you're arrogant. Stupid is the smallest category. I don't think many of you are too stupid to make money. If I were to sit down and say, do this on repeat, most of you could do it on repeat until money was generated. Stupid is a very small subset, maybe 15 to 20% of people. Then you have the lazy people, who are the people who don't want to work that hard, or they're quitters, or they already have a job, so they think they'll be okay if they just wait long enough and save enough money and get a mortgage, and they're just going to waste their time out of laziness. They're too lazy to think differently than they currently think, and I'd say that's 30 to 40% of people. But most people, the majority, the largest group, are the arrogant. Because a lot of people are so brutally arrogant that even if I sit down, or if somebody more successful than them sits down and explains to them how the world works, they don't want to listen. Please understand, I've had conversations with people I went to school with. I went to the same school as them. We grew up in the same area. We had the same education. And they're the same age as me. So we had the same exact number of minutes alive, with same exact hours in the day, 24 hours every single day for X amount of years. And they don't have a fraction of my success. And they ask me, hey man, yeah, you really did well. So how did you pull it off? And I'll start telling them
what I did and what they should have done or how they could improve their situation. And instead of going, thank you for wasting your time, Lord Andrew, on me, the peasant, they instead reply something like, yeah, but you know, it's different because now I moved to Surrey and I live in Reading now. Some garbage that has nothing to do with anything. Would I walk into Mozart's music school and when he tells me how to compose a beautiful, timeless piece of classical music, tell him, yeah, but I'll do it. I wouldn't do it that way, or I can't do it that way. The arrogance is astonishing. It's truly astonishing how arrogant people are. When somebody has the things you want, you should listen to them. Even if you have a point of view, even if you think it couldn't work for you or you want to do it differently or whatever because of who you are, etc. Even out of basic respect, you should just listen. Because to sit and go, have any kind of opinion or any kind of reply, you're not qualified to have one. You're not qualified because you don't have the things they have. You're talking on a subject you don't understand. The arrogance of people is brutally amazing. You can have anything you want. Universe is super giving. You want a fucking Ferrari, you can have it. You want that bitch, you can have her. You can have anything you want on the planet. There's not a girl I look at that I want that I can't have. Not one. That's my reality. There's not a car I can't have. There's not a house I can't buy. If I want to go to a yacht, if I want to go to Antarctica, there's nothing I can't have. Bam. Because I've decided to become this man. It's the same for absolutely every single one of you at home. If you want it, you can have it. If you're sitting there saying, oh, but I tried my best and I still didn't get it, you're lying. You didn't try your best. That is a fucking lie. The universe gives it to everybody who genuinely tries. What's really scary is this. I'm 37. I grew up on a council estate. I was broke for most of my life. I made all my money myself. And even I have disdain for the poor. Because I look at them and go, you didn't try at all. I did it. With all of the pain I went through and all the problems I had, while also fighting and becoming a kickboxing world champion, I still managed to do it. You started at a higher bracket than me. You started from a middle income home. Your dad you had food. I didn't have food and I was a world champion. How did you fail so massively? And I look at them and just think of them as, you're an idiot.
There's actually endless opportunity if you're prepared to work. I don't think that the problem is a lack of opportunity, and I don't really even truly believe in saturated markets.
Everyone says this, motivation is not real, discipline's real. I do not feel like training, but I still train because I'm a disciplined individual. You don't get to go through life only doing the things you feel like doing. Do you know who gets to do that? Women. Beautiful women. Beautiful women get to do what they feel like doing. As a man, you have to do the things you're supposed to do because what we said earlier is absolutely true. It's player versus player, my friend. Now, if I wake up, I've already got this massive head start over you in life and nearly every genetic gift, plus all my finances, plus my network. And I wake up and I decide, even though I don't feel like working, I'm going to work my ass off. And you wake up way down there, a peon, and you can't be bothered to work. What chance do you have against men like us? You don't stand a chance. You can't get the girl. We'll take the girl off you. We'll bankrupt your ass. We'll kick you out your house. You name it. You don't stand a chance. Now, if you're going to wake up and look in the mirror and understand that you're absolutely not only crushable, that you're a rabbit and that lions exist, and that's not going to motivate you to do something about it, then you're a lost cause. And there's no point asking us a question. You know exactly what you need to do. If you want to stay killable, then stay killable. But I can't live that way. I would refuse to live that way. It's a disgrace to my bloodline. It's a disgrace to my parents who struggled to raise me, for me to be anything other than the best version of myself. That's honor. I have honor to my last name and to my ancestry. It would be disgusting for them all to have fought saber-toothed tigers so I can wake my lazy ass up, jerk off all day, and ask on YouTube how I can stop being a fucking loser. So this is down to you, my friend. And listen, you may feel fired up for 10 minutes after this little talk, but you're not going to feel fired up forever. You need to put systems in place. You need to get discipline. You need to get an atmosphere of people around you who are going to keep you accountable and not make it easy for you to continue to be a fucking nobody.
It's ungrateful to the universe. It's ungrateful to God himself to waste what he gives you. You want to talk about how you end up lucky. And I would argue that I'm a very lucky person. You know, on a long enough time frame, I can't think of a single time I've ever lost. It may look like I'm gonna lose, but in the end, I always seem to win.
You're not a quitter at all.
Bro, I'm not a quitter. I'm a fucking fighter. I will squirm to the last second.
The fact that I believe each and every one of you is exactly where you deserve to be in life, or where you belong, or, let me change the wording, where you want to be. So if you're not a millionaire and you're not happy with your life, guess what? You are where you deserve to be. And the reason I'm going to say that is as follows. I had a bad luck this, or I tried this, or I can't pull off that, blah, 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 blah. It's impossible to exist somewhere where you're not comfortable. If I were to say, lay on these red hot stones, and you tried to do it, you'd get up and move because it hurts, it's not comfortable. You have to get out of that position. Yet, if you look at your life is in a shit position, but you don't move, you don't do anything about it. So if it was really, truly uncomfortable to you, like those red hot stones were, you'd change something. But the fact you refuse to change something shows that you're pretty comfortable where you are. Now, of course, you can talk a good talk. All you motherfuckers will sit there and go, oh, but no, my life's not in order, I want to be rich, and I want to be in shape, and I'm gonna, and then you don't do anything, which shows that you know how to talk the talk, but you can't walk the walk.
If I say something, I stick to it. I believe that your word is your bond, and you should stick to everything you say. So for me, the simplest life hack is to make sure I never see myself as a liar. If I say something, I'm going to do it. So if I say I'm going to run a marathon, I now have the energy to run the marathon because I don't want to break my word to myself. Which the hack to that is I don't need the energy to run the marathon. I need the energy to say I'll run a marathon, which is a lot less. But once I've said it, I have to do it. Does that make sense? So if I look at something and I don't want to do it and I think that looks too hard to do, I'll tell Tristan or I'll tell someone close to me I'm going to do it. So now I have to do it. That's how I'll do things. So we can take a very simple example. There's 10 rocks to move and I don't want to move them, they're too heavy. But if I say to someone, I can move all those rocks, I'm going to move all those rocks. Now I have to move them. Otherwise I'm a liar. Especially, and that's also easy because of my social circle, because they'll call me out on it. You said you were going to move those rocks. So now I have to do it. So I don't need the energy to get the work done. I need the energy to tell people I'm going to do the work, and I have to keep my word to myself. Which maybe some people find strange, but I think it's a pretty simple.
You have to build trust with yourself.
Yeah,
once you trust yourself, you can do the things you say you're going to do.
Absolutely. You have to be the kind of person who doesn't lie to anybody, including yourself, especially yourself. Don't lie to yourself ever. Just be brutally honest with yourself all the time. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to make the correct move on the chessboard. If you think you're better than you are or worse than you are, you're going to make mistakes. You need to know exactly where you are and all of your capabilities, which once again is feedback, like we said before. I haven't missed a day of work in 10 years. I've never had a day off. Maybe I've had days where I've gone driving in the supercars and I've only done 2 hours work instead of 8 hours. I've never had a day where I thought, fuck it, I'm not going to work. Never once ever. My screen time on my phone is 9 hours a day, every fucking day. I do not miss a day of work ever. If I'm the most viral Googled man on the earth, it does not change a fucking thing. I am working. Earth must be conquered. The Matrix must be attacked and shattered. I do not stop. I will not quit. I will not surrender. I am not that person. I have zero interest in rest or respite. It's bullshit for cowards. Even the idea of resting aggravates my mind.
I got shit to do. I can't even contemplate the idea. People say to me, if I had your money, Tate, I just go chill. That's why you'll never have my money, dummy.
Well, here's my question.
Go do nothing. I don't want to do nothing. I want to do shit.
Anyone who knows me will tell you, if I'm awake, I'm working. I'm awake, I'm working. From the second I wake up, I'm on my laptop to the second I go to sleep. First thing I do when I wake up to check my phone. First thing I do is I work. And if I even do anything fun, I kill all the fun because I make it work. Oh, we can film it, get this, need this scene. Filming having fun is not having fun, ever. So I make it work. So I only enjoy work. I like to work because I like to feel proud of myself. I don't want to be happy, I want to feel proud of myself. So I rest when I sleep, sure. If I'm ultimately tired and need a few extra hours in bed every once in a while, yeah, okay, I'll do that. But I never just have a day. Tristan, back down. I've ever said I need a day where I just need a day off. Have you ever heard me say I need a day off? No. Ever. I'm training in the gym in between sets. It's like I work all the time.
When I was broke, I couldn't sleep. And I say that, people laugh. I'm not joking. When I wanted money, like fucking I needed air. I am smart enough to know that money equals freedom. I needed money. And I used to sit there and just literally my hands in my head and people were like, what's wrong with you? It's like, I need money. I want money today. I would have been one of them cats that robbed a bank. If I didn't find money by the time I was 40, I would have walked in there with a fucking shotgun. I am not gonna live broke. Get rich or die trying. I understand that completely. But you motherfuckers are sitting there going, oh, well, yeah, I really want to be a millionaire. And then just, oh, just go to sleep. Oh, get my pillow, I'm tired. The fuck? You are not uncomfortable in your position. Same thing with physical fitness. You're a fat fuck. Oh, yeah, I really need to lose weight. I know I'm going to lose weight. Why are you fat then? Getting fat does not happen slowly. Getting fat does not happen quickly. It's a slow process. You didn't fucking notice. Across a year, every time you looked in the mirror, your eyes were closed. You knew what was happening. And you were comfortable being fat, because if you weren't comfortable, you would do something about it. I talk to people when their lives are all fucked up, and they're like, well, my life's all fucked up. And I'm like, yeah, well, of course it is, because you're happy for your life to be fucked up. Even if you're not happy, even if you're uncomfortable, you're not uncomfortable enough to change it.
There are people dying in a fucking ditch, bro.
It's true.
You're dying in a fucking ditch, and what do? You're sad about what? You ain't found the time to go to the gym. Why? You haven't worked on anything. You haven't dedicated yourself to anything. Why? Oh, I just don't feel like it. Well, you're a piece of shit.
Every single male superhero went through a whole ton of shit before he became superhero. You've seen the Batman movies. His parents died. He was locked up in jail. All these bad things happen, and then they emerge as the hero. And this is done for a reason, because it's the reality of life, especially as a man. So right now, you have to understand that you're the hero in this movie, and if you're struggling for a very important reason. And how you handle these struggles and how you deal with these struggles are going to decide the kind of person you're going to be afterwards. You're either going to be a superhero, or you're going to succumb to them and you're going to fail. So be happy that you're struggling, because that's important.
It's kind of interesting, because I actually believe that respect is more important than happiness for men, and most men who are happy but not respected, it's temporary dumb shit. But men who are truly respected don't need to chase happiness, because when you talk, people listen. How could you be happy as a man if when you say things, nobody listens to you? You say X and your wife ignores you, your kids ignore you, and all the men around you laugh. Oh sure, you can take some drugs after that to be happy. But are you truly happy in your heart? No, you're going to be happy when you're respected. So stop being obsessed with this idea of happiness. A lot of guys say to me, oh, I don't feel happy, I don't feel good, I don't feel well. Good. You're supposed to be depressed, you're supposed to be miserable because you're a loser. And if what will happen is, if you work really hard and dedicate yourself and become a winner, then you will be not depressed and not miserable, but you'll be extremely preoccupied and concerned with your empire. But at least your word will mean something. And never at any point are you going to laugh and giggle like a 2-year-old toddler did. And that's fine, because you're not supposed to. Because men who act that way are weird. I don't like men who are too happy. Even women don't like men who are too happy. Nobody likes happy guys. I won't even hire a happy guy. When I see a guy who's really happy, I think he is one calamity away from absolute destruction. One calamity away from being incompetent. You find me a guy who turns up on time every time with a miserable look on his face and does his job. That's the kind of guy I want. Doesn't matter if he crashes his car. Doesn't matter if his house gets bombed. It's just another day, another shit sandwich. Gotta go to work and get my work done. That's competence. You don't need happiness to be competent. So, happiness is for girls and kids. You're a man. If you don't feel happy, good, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to feel respected. And you're gonna do that via competence, masculine achievement, hard work, dedication, and becoming somebody worth respect. Getting rich is the easiest way to achieve all the things you want to achieve. Oh yeah. You want people to respect you when you talk. Yeah. Easiest way, get rich. Yeah. You want girls to love you. Easiest way, get rich. You want to leave a legacy and be remembered. Easiest way, get rich. Yeah. It's amazing that people say getting rich is hard, when it's in fact the easiest possible way to achieve all the things you want to achieve. Sure. How else can you go down in history and be remembered in a positive light without getting rich? You'd have to dedicate your life to charity and live in a fucking shithole.
But you could do a lot more charity
if you had money. Exactly. So I'm not even saying that in those scenarios money wouldn't help you, but I'm saying that for you to even go down in history without money, you would have to completely sacrifice all good about your life, when you could instead just get rich, or get rich and do the same thing and do better than you would do without the money.
Because 99% of the questions I get asked is simply people trying to pass blame or find some external validation or motivation to convince them to do something they don't want to do, or some kind of democratic bullshit. You know, people ask me for advice and they say, Andrew, what should I do here? And I'll answer and they'll go, but I don't think that would work because of this. Since when is this a fucking conversation? Since when is it? You asked me how to get rich. I told you how to get rich. Now you're telling me that I'm wrong while you're broke and I'm rich. This is not a conversation. This is not a democracy. I'm an absolute monarch. You were blessed by an answer. You should thank God I even wasted my time on a lazy fucking loser like you who's not going to take any action despite the fact I gave them the exact path to monumental riches and capability. You're still gonna sit on your ass doing nothing, jerking off the fucking Pornhub. Now you want to have some kind of democratic back and forth about the bullshit. Where does the luck come from? Comes from God. Who does God favor? What makes God like you? God likes you when you try. There's nothing that's gonna piss God off more than wasting what he fucking gives you. If you give someone a Ferrari and they look after it perfectly, you're happy. If you give someone a Ferrari and see it the next day, it's got cigarette butts, it's treated like shit, would you be happy you gave him a Ferrari? God gave you a consciousness, he gave you a body, he gave you a mind, and you're not even fucking using it. You're crying over that bitch who left you. You're not using it to be the best version of yourself. You're not using it to get as rich and powerful as possible. You're not using it to change the world. You're not using it to protect those you love. You're not using it for anything. And you expect God to make you lucky? God only has so much luck to give out. Wouldn't he give it to his soldiers who dedicate themselves and try? Wouldn't he think, you know what, that Tate motherfucker, he's been through something and he will not quit and he will not stop and he's never said he doesn't deserve it. He's never bitched. He's never moaned. He's never felt sorry for himself. He's never complained. He got up every day and worked. Let's give him some luck. What about this guy? Always crying, always has a problem, always feels sorry for himself, always needs motivation, never gets anything done. Everything's everyone else's fault. Does he deserve any of the luck I have in my pocket? The answer is fucking no. You make your own luck by dedicating yourself to the universe. I said this before. I said it in a rain dancing term. Rain dancing. I said, if you need it to rain and your life depends on it, you should do a rain dance. Now, do rain dances make clouds come? No. But perhaps, by some strange twist of fate, far in the distance, another tribe will see you rain dancing and realize you need water. And they'll think, he needs water. And we need something he has. And they'll bring you water. If you didn't rain dance and just sat there waiting for it to rain, the water would have never come. There's no such thing as working too hard. You'd be amazed how if you just do work, how amazing things happen.
Well, and I also think that it's very easy to work hard and win when you're already winning. It's hard to get there. It starts off harder. It's harder to find a way to make money and work all the time and deal with all the bullshit and be at the bottom of whatever industry you're in and not have any reputation, whatever. But if I were to say to all of you right now, for every minute you body spar, you get $1,000. I guarantee we'd still be out there right now sparring. I think I've always understood that you can outwork people. You can truly outwork people, and you can outwork a lot of things about yourself as well. You can outwork a lot of negative emotions. You can outwork a lot of problems in your mind. Like people sit and say, I'm unhappy or I'm sad. You don't have time. How do you find the time in the day to sit around thinking about being sad? Like, you have shit to do. Like I don't have time to sit around and contemplate how I feel because I'm busy. So how do you even have time for that? I've had people sit and give me long trotes on how they feel. And I'm like, where did you even come up with this shit? How long have you been sitting around just fucking thinking about nothing? I don't have time for it. A plane defies gravity with speed. Momentum. That's all it does. If a plane stops moving forward, what happens? It falls down, right? So if you can do the same thing with yourself and your mentality and your problems and everyone else around you, you can outwork everybody. So I've always understood outworking.
So all of the things that you actually want to achieve with your life and all of the things that you're hoping to have in your consciousness and your human experience come from getting rich. The easiest way to get all of them is to get rich. So even though getting rich is not easy, it's still the easiest thing you should possibly do. And this is the beauty of life as a man. There's nothing better than blaming yourself for absolutely everything that's ever happened to you, waking up and realizing it was all your fault and you're the only one who can fix it. This is so applicable to nearly any problem in your life. 100% accountability in all things. But also when I go out there and I start the Bugatti, it's like, that's me. This is my fault. The car is my fault and the big house is my fault and everything that ever goes wrong is my fault.
And the failures.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to take complete and utter accountability for everything. You can't make excuses ever. Yeah. There's never an excuse. And you're right. People try and put things on the outwards on the outside. And if you're going to be the guy and you're going to allow life to happen to you and you're not going to happen to life, then you're at mercy of the wind. Perhaps it might work out okay, but it might not, right? So you have to be the guy who goes, okay, the wind's blowing in this direction. Fuck them.
I'm doing this. You have to come to life. You can't let life come to you, because if you let life come to you, then you're going to be living inside of a matrix and a system which is designed not for you to live your best life.
And you need to get very comfortable and very used to the idea of understanding that on your path to greatness, there are going to be long periods of time where you hate what you are doing, where you are dissatisfied with the actions you must undertake, where you are tired, where you are stressed. That is why it is difficult. That is why most people won't make it. If the path was easy, everybody would walk it and it would lead nowhere. 100 people start the path, 99 fall off because it is difficult, and the one person who makes it to the end gets the gold. If all 100 made it to the end and the gold was divided by 100, it wouldn't even be worth anything. The difficulty gives it value. The fact that it is difficult to do is the key component into the fact you want it in the first place. If it wasn't difficult, everyone would have it and you wouldn't want it because no one would respect it. It's supposed to be hard. Life is supposed to be hard. You're supposed to think this is terrible. You're supposed to suffer and smile through the pain regardless. Discipline is the key to success in all realms as a man. And if you lack it, you stand no chance. You can give most people a roadmap to success. You can give them a Ferrari with a full tank of gas, and a lot of people still wouldn't make the destination because they would say the drive is too far away. Quitters, they don't have the discipline. You can tell them exactly how to do it. You can give them the mechanism to get there, but they don't have the discipline to complete the drive.
If you're disciplined and you have willpower, that can be applied to absolutely anything, right? If you have unlimited willpower and you can always open up a can and smear it on to whatever you're doing, you're going to do well. So it's all about self-control and self-discipline and making sure that you are the center of your own universe. And a lot of people agree with this, and a lot of people say this, and they go, yeah. But it's very rare to meet someone who's serious about it, in my experience. If you're truly serious about brute willpower, you could achieve anything. Like, you could do absolutely anything. That's what it's all about. So I've just had the same universal stubbornness and refusal to fail. And anything I've ever applied it at, I've done very well with for that reason. If you don't have discipline, you don't have anything, right? People often say to me, oh, but Tate, you're lucky, you're a kickboxer and you were talented. Yeah, I was talented, but I didn't find out I was talented until I was disciplined. If I wasn't disciplined enough to train, I would have never seen my talent, because the guy with less talent than me, who trained harder than me, would have been kicking my ass. So you don't get to discover anything about yourself. You don't get to discover any of your genetic advantages, any of your talents. You don't get to discover anything about who you are as an individual, your spirit, your soul, what you're made of. Without discipline, you can't even discover anything. So discipline is a key to discovery. Discipline teaches you all about yourself. It teaches you what you really have. You know, there's a whole bunch of people out there that might be the best pianist in the world, but they've never had the discipline to learn piano. So nobody knows. And that's how life works. So discipline is extremely important if you ever want to become anybody or be anything. And everybody knows this, and it's a bit cliche to say, right? But I think that is the common theme. I was extremely disciplined as a child. I had a very disciplined upbringing playing chess, and I could take that upbringing and self-discipline and apply it to myself with everything else I've done. Fighting and webcam studios, and now I own casinos and mentorships, etc., etc. And I make millions and millions of dollars, and people look at me and go, oh, but how? And I'm like, what do you mean how? It's do the right things every day like you're supposed to, on time, every day, and life usually comes together. I really believe that. The reason nobody has discipline anymore is because it's not taught. Discipline isn't taught, and the idea of being disciplined is seen as negative. And we also live in a world where everything and everybody is vying for our attention. Everything. There's ads everywhere. YouTube happens quickly. Kids are being raised with iPads. Like when I was a kid or you were a kid, we had a coloring book. Now they got flashing lights and little video games. Like, how do you think you're going to keep his attention as he grows old? He's been entertained by some of the best software developers in the world permanently since the second he could pick up an iPad. So your attention's very, very difficult, and that's what discipline is, really. It's the ability to stay focused on one thing for a long period of time. And I think most people don't realize how bad their attention span is, or how much discipline they lack, until they really start to suffer from it. And that's what will happen, especially as a man. I can't say as a woman because I'm not a woman, but as a man, if you don't have the ability to knuckle down and focus on something for a long time, life's going to punish you. Sooner or later, life's going to wake you up, you know? And the reality of mastery and the reality of success is that it's not really a glamorous story. Like, how do you become the best boxer in the world? You do the same thing over and over for 15 years. Jab, cross, hook. Like, it's boring, you know, but that's what discipline is. So the idea that a lot of people want to be constantly entertained
I want to be entertained. That's boring. Well, that's why you need discipline. People want to be constantly motivated. Oh, I don't feel motivated. Listen, if you're not motivated to go to the gym, and that has resulted in you being obese, suffering health adversity, so you're now damaged your health. On top of that, you're less attractive to females. On top of that, your energy levels are lower. If you really need motivation to just lose weight and live a life worth living, then there's something wrong with you. I train every single day and I'm never motivated, but I'm disciplined. I never wake up and think, yeah, I want to train. I've been training my whole life. I'm bored of it, but it's something that has to be done, right? So the idea of entertainment, the idea of motivation, these things are completely detrimental to discipline. People come to me all the time and say, how do I get motivated? I say, you don't, you get disciplined. I don't care if you feel like doing X. You must do X or you will stay a loser. So do you want to be a loser or do you want to do X? It has nothing to do with motivation. So a lot of these things, people are constantly distracted. And I think a lot of the things that are taught and told about discipline are actually detrimental to a disciplined mindset as a whole.
You're not supposed to be happy, and you're not supposed to be content, and you're not supposed to be satisfied. Because you're sitting there going, why am I not happy? Why am I not satisfied? Why am I so miserable? That's exactly how you're supposed to be. I don't know where anyone got this idea that life was created and God created us all and built this entire world for us to sit here and just smile all day. Like children. No, you had your happy years when you were a toddler, when you got that cardboard box to play with, and you didn't appreciate them and you wasted them, and now they're all gone. You're an adult. All your happiness is gone. You're not allowed any anymore. You are supposed to feel frustrated. You're supposed to feel like there's so much that needs to be done. You're supposed to feel like you could have so much more from your life. You're supposed to feel motivated and on fire. You're supposed to feel lots of things, but not necessarily happy. I would say, although my life is basically perfect, I wouldn't call myself happy. I don't like that. Am I content? Yes. Am I absolutely capable? Do I have everything I've ever wanted? Yes. Do I have everything I've ever wished for? Can I have anything I desire to have? Absolutely. Am I respected? Yes. But do I wake up every day like, not really. And I think the people who do that are not particularly successful people. If you are constantly chasing happiness, you are going to fail. If you're constantly chasing happiness, you're going to end up doing hedonistic dumb shit. You're going to end up drinking, taking drugs, doing anything it takes to feel happy. If you're constantly chasing respect or importance, perhaps you will have a far more remarkable life filled with achievements. So you have to ask yourself, do you want to be an important man who is respected, or do you want to be happy?
You need to be perspicacious. You need to understand that in this world, there's a whole bunch of people doing amazing shit that you are not doing. And that needs to piss you off. Because if it pisses you off, you become motivated all of a sudden. I was the only one who was pissed off when that Aston Martin was next to me and I had my sales job. I was the only one who was pissed off when I saw that Ferrari drive past. Other people were not annoyed by it, and they're not annoyed by it. They're not driven to be it. You understand? They're not driven to be where that person was. You need to be annoyed, and I'm telling you to be angry. Anger is a fantastic force. Like I said, the world tells you not to be arrogant, tells you not to be angry. It's two things it tells you to do. Don't be arrogant, don't have an ego, and you don't have anger. You're a fucking man. You're a full-grown man. It's perfectly fine for you to be pissed off. It's perfectly fine for you to look around your life, look at the girl you're fucking, look at the house you live in, look at the car you drive, and get pissed off and go, you know what, I want a hotter bitch. I want a fucking nicer house. I want a faster car. There's nothing wrong if you take that anger and you direct it in the correct direction. This is the reason I stopped fighting now. People go, why do you stop fighting? It's because I fought and I went through hell to get everything I now have. I had nothing when I fought. I had nothing. And I wanted the life I now have. Now I wake up in one of my 3 mansions, one of my 7 supercars, and one of my 15 women. What do I need to fight for? Like, people have different motivations for different things. There's some fighters out there who fight for other reasons, you know? My motivation was I was pissed off at the world. And now I'm not as angry as I used to be, so I don't believe I'm as good a fighter as I used to be.
The reason it's so easy to win in the world today is because the majority of people are perfectly prepared to lose.
Yeah.
You just described, you have to wake up and you have to give a shit. You have to wake up and go, you know what? I'm responsible for my health, and I'm responsible for my finances, and I'm responsible for my family, and I'm responsible for the decisions I make, and I'm responsible for my work ethic, and I'm responsible for my motivation, and I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do to be monumentally wealthy. Yeah. And the reason it is so fucking easy is because most people can't do that. If everyone could do that, then to win would be hard. So I would hate for all the losers to start being winners, because then it's hard for winners to win. Yeah. And I still want to win against the winners.
Yeah.
But luckily, God has put us in this version of the simulation
where it is so brutally easy to surpass everyone around us. I look at people and just go, you haven't even fucking tried. It's like a race and the gun goes off and I start running as fast as I can. And I turn around and no one's even moved. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll jog then. And I'm nearly done and no one's even moved. Then I start walking. Then I just lay down and just have a rest. And I look at the back of the finish line, the start line, and everyone's still standing there. I don't feel like running. I'm not motivated. I'm stressed. I'm depressed. Like they're all just standing around the fucking start line. How there are people waking up each morning and not giving a shit about their own life. Who do you expect to wake up and give a shit if you don't? Or even you or me, do you think any of us wake up and go, John, I really need to get John a Ferrari. I really need to get John a Ferrari and a hot bitch and a nice big house. Today I'm gonna focus on John. No, we don't give a fuck. We'll help you if you're here to help, if you're here to be helped.
Now you care.
No.
You care about John.
No, the point is, if John cares about himself,
then you'll be able to help
then I'll help him.
Young people, a lot of men say to me, especially like, what's fun? And I'm saying, doing what you're supposed to do and fulfilling your duty and being proud of yourself is fun. That's the only fun you need. You don't need the fun of trying to chase all this garbage and this hedonism and this black hole. That doesn't lead anywhere.
Did you do that for a while?
For a while, yeah, certainly.
So did I.
You have to.
Yeah.
Until you get to a point where you realize, okay, this is never going to end. Am I going to continue to go down this path, or am I going to turn around and just skip it all?
Right.
Because it only ends badly. And I think that's also one of the problems with Western society, where the youth are obsessed with fun. If you look at other societies, the youth are not so obsessed with what's fun today. What's fun now? I need fun now. I'm bored. I want fun. You know, they're overstimulated, whatever it is. They're also selfish. They're also self-obsessed with how they feel. This teaching a whole society and teaching a large contingent of the youth that how they feel plays paramount over the world. If you feel sad, that's all that matters. Not, well, I feel sad, but it doesn't matter because I'm doing the right thing. I feel depressed or I feel stressed, but it doesn't matter because I'm dedicating myself. No. What matters is how you feel right now, which means they only want to be happy all the time. And if you're going to only chase happiness and you don't have any particular skills, you're going to end up just chasing hedonism, and this is where you end up. And it's insanity. I think one of the largest tenets of masculinity for the largest period of human time is ignoring how you feel and doing what you're supposed to do because you're supposed to do it. We feel things, but jobs must be done, whether we are happy or sad. And this is also disappearing from the world. I'm stressed probably 6 days a week. I'm pissed off 6 days a week, but things need to be done.
Right.
So you just have to do them. And when you have a whole contingent of the youth obsessed with only being happy, I think this is one of the largest reasons they can psyop them so easily into doing insanity. And I guess it never used to be that way.
No, it was never that way.
You want to become a hero, you need someone to battle against. This is who you're battling against. You're battling against a better version of yourself, a version of yourself that doesn't succumb to how he feels, but does what he's supposed to do anyway. So this is who your villain's going to be. And when you're writing down this list, all the qualities your villain has, imagine what this person looks like. You have to put genuine effort into this. You have to imagine what he looks like, imagine how he walks, imagine how he talks, imagine what people think when they see him. Imagine how different you would be if you had been going to the gym every single day for an hour and a half, every single day for the last 2, 3, 4 years. Imagine it. Imagine how differently people would look at you. Imagine how differently females would treat you if you were jacked like that guy would be. You have to sit and you have to put down all these qualities, and then once the qualities are there, 25 or 30 minimum, then you have to imagine what kind of person this is. You have to imagine what he looks like, what he talks like, what he thinks like. Imagine how he views the world, because this is who you're going to be battling against. So you have to put genuine effort into constructing this person and understanding this person. The reason I'm saying do this is because this is what motivates me every single day. When I was training for a fight, the reason I'd always go train is because I knew my enemy was training. But when I stopped fighting professionally, I thought, well, what enemy do I have? And I realized I had to create my own. So when I don't feel like going to the gym, I imagine I've built my own enemy. I won't even list all the things that my enemy has. He has a whole bunch of shit I don't have. And he would be an nearly impossible person to beat. But when I sit and I don't feel like going to the gym, I know my enemy's training, because he trains no matter what, regardless of how he feels, regardless if he's pissed off, or if there's traffic, or it's raining, or he's tired. My enemy trains.
But I think life is actually pretty simple. There's action and reaction, there's cause and effect. There's brave people and there's cowards. A lot of people are self-interested. And if you understand the basis of these motivations, it's not difficult to work out why the world functions the way it does. And cause and effect and action and reaction are very real. And I think one of the largest plagues we have in the world today is a lack of action amongst people. And deciding not to act is an action in and of itself, right? And that's the only philosophy you need for life. If you want something to move, you have to move it. If you sit and wait for somebody else to move it, you're a coward. Yeah. You're just hoping it's going to happen.
Period. Absolutely.
And that's why I don't understand when a lot of people who see where the world is going and see the future that's going to be laid out for their children kind of just hope and pray.
I don't even look at it as goals, because goals are something that you put on the wall to motivate yourself, right?
Right.
Goals are motivating. So if you want to buy a car, you put the car on the wall and it motivates you to go to work to get the car. So that's a goal. Goals are for motivation. I don't work on motivation. I work on discipline. So I don't have a set goal. I just get up and do what I know I'm supposed to do. I don't work to try and afford that car. I work because I'm supposed to work. And then I can already afford that car and another one and another one and a boat and a plane and a house and another house and a land. And then I just work. I do my work. That is my duty as a man, is my duty to God. I train in the gym. It is my duty to God. I do my duties to God. I fulfill my duty. I'm an old school gentleman of honor and respect. I do what I'm supposed to do. I don't have any particular set goals. Anything I decide to do or want to do, I can do instantly. And if I can't do it instantly, I can do it pretty fucking quickly. I don't need goals in that old traditional sense. I do what I'm supposed to do.
Wow.
It's not a matter of how I feel or how I'm motivated. If I was depressed, it's impossible, but if I was depressed, my life would be, and the day-to-day activities would be exactly the same as if I was ecstatically happy. You wouldn't be able to see a difference. I'd be up at the same time. I'd be in the gym the same. I'd be doing the same shit. Those are my duties my duties to God. How I feel has nothing to do with it. Completely unrelated. How I feel is unrelated to my duties to God. They don't change based on how I feel. They're the same. And they will be completed because I refuse to fail God or my bloodline.
That's amazing.
I'm telling you. There's how many people in this stream? 188,000, 168,000, whatever. You could take 150,000 of these people and travel back in time and stand them in front of their ancestors. And their ancestors who fought fucking saber-toothed tigers or escaped the Mongol hordes or managed to dodge bombs in the Second World War. All the shit they went through just for this fucking cretin to be born. And to look at him. Look at who he is, listen to his life story, listen to what he does on a day-to-day basis, and they would feel nothing but fucking shame. Your ancestors did all that shit, all that struggling to survive, hunting and gathering, fucking avoiding enemies, anything it took, dying at age 30 from a tooth infection, all the crap they went through just for you to be born so you could smoke weed and jack off. That's what your ancestors died for? That's what they worked so hard for? That's who you are? That's the end of your fucking bloodline? Do you feel no shame? It's fucking shameful. My ancestors will look at me and think everything we went through was fucking worth it. Your ancestors will look at most of these people, their ancestors look at them and feel nothing but fucking disgust.
It's true.
It's fucking true. It's disgusting. And they should look in the mirror, look deep in their own eyes and say, yes, I'm fucking disgusting. I can change this. That's the beauty about being a man. If you're disgusting, you can change it. That's the beauty. There's nothing stopping you changing it.
You're right.
And you must accept it. You must accept it first. Most of these people, what they do is they hang around with other disgusting people, and then they're a little group of disgusting people, and they think, well, I'm not disgusting, everyone's disgusting, and this is normal, and it's normal to be a fucking jerk off. Not in my world, it isn't. This is when I was making jokes earlier about predators and prey. In my world, I'm in a world of predators. It's not normal to be a fucking jerk off in my world. Damn. There are duties that men must fulfill, whether to God or to your bloodline. But this is a genuine honest. I'll say this now. Of those 150,000 people, I guarantee even their fucking living relatives, their living parents aren't even proud of them. It's like, the fuck? Your own father's ashamed of you. And you don't even feel fucking motivated to do shit.
Chat, y'all think that's true?
It's a fucking shame. If you were to go and look your father in the eye and said, you know what? I could have been a UFC champion. I could have been a multimillionaire. I could have been a race car driver. I could have been a fucking nuclear physicist. Could have done all these things, but I was busy on Pornhub. You think he's gonna be proud of you? Fuck no. Fuck no. And there's men here who will deny it, right? There's men who will go,
No, 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 no. But those are the ones who are most lost. It's the denial that's going to hold you back the most. The people who go, yes, I'm wasting my potential. Those are the ones who have potential. The ones who stand up and go, I am wasting my potential. I could be anything and I am not that yet. They have a chance. The men who go, well, no, actually, I'm fine. They're fucked. They're inside the matrix, fully slave-minded. They're a waste of time. Dang. But if you sit there and go, you know what? Yeah, I am wasting my potential. Yes, I can be more than I am. Even if I'm already great, I can be better. As good as I am, I still push myself to the limit every single fucking day. I have every single thing a man could possibly want. I'm still pushing myself. This is your prerogative as a man, but you need to be instilled with a sense of duty to your bloodline. You must want it. You need to want it deep inside your soul. I can't die as anything less than emperor. It's my destiny.
My brother have another thing we do. We do this all the time. If either of us are ever complaining about anything, we say, we shut each other up by saying, do you want therapy? If you don't want therapy, what are you talking about?
Sure.
And the main reason people complain about things is to get a dopamine rush, right? I'm unhappy, but if I sit there and I complain about it and you give me a little bit of sympathy, I feel better.
Yeah.
Right? So you get dopamine. That's why they're complaining for dopamine. If someone comes to me and complains about something, the best thing I can do for them, because I'm a philanthropic, nice man, because I'm Mr. Nice, is tell them to get fucked. I don't care. Shut up.
Yeah.
That's the best thing you could do. This is why people complain. They complain to feel better. But a lot of this comes down to your social circle. Because there's a whole bunch of guys out there whose friends accept excuses.
Hell yeah.
If your friends will allow you to make excuses, you're going to make excuses. If your family let you make excuses, you're going to make excuses. You're going to complain and feel better. You got to be around killers who don't accept that shit. If me and let's say me and 3 friends, there's 4 of us, and we all decide to do 10,000 push-ups a day, and all of us do them except one, there's no words inside the human language, there's no sentence you could possibly construct, no matter how compendious or concise or how intelligent the man is, that will allow us to forgive him for failing. You failed. Oh, but I was busy, We did them. You're a bitch. Shut up. We don't accept excuses. That is it. It's true. So the next day, he's going to go, well, they ain't going to listen to my bullshit. I better just fucking do. Another thing that's interesting is I've never seen anybody do anything on accident. This was actually very interesting. When somebody tells me their goals, I ask what their plan is to achieve their goals, and they never have one, and it's fucking dumb.
Wait, did you just say you didn't have any goals?
No, I don't. But I'm saying if someone has a goal, I say, well, what's your plan? And they haven't got a plan. I've never seen anyone do anything amazing on accident. I know what I'm supposed to do, and I do it day after day. I don't have a pre-designated, goal by this date. But I know I want to become stronger, so I just train. For example.
Got it.
But what I'm saying is I've never seen anybody do anything amazing by accident. So what this extrapolates out, let's use the gym and money, right? Have you ever found a guy in the gym who's in fantastic shape, and you said, why are you in such good shape? How'd you get so big? And he goes, oops, just happened.
I feel like you're giving us. I feel like you're giving us the long answer for like hard work pays off.
Well, no, but it's you have to know you're not going to do it accidentally. You have to do the right things every single day. And it's the same with money, right? If I meet somebody and they're loaded, they're like, how'd you make so much money? I did this, I did that, I spoke to this guy, I started this company, When you ask the average guy, do you want to be rich? He goes, yeah. How are you going to get rich? Don't know.
Yeah, of course.
So you're just going to, how'd you get rich? Oops. It's just like, it's dumb shit. Like it's people, and it's kind of amazing. The last 5 years have proved it, but the majority of people are just fucking sleepwalking, bro. They have no plan to achieve any of their goals. They don't try very hard at shit. Everything is someone else's fault. When my ship comes in, don't worry, in a few years, I'm going to be here. How?
Where do you
like
think
they're just
that comes
fucking
from, though?
amateurs.
Why do you think they feel that way? Where's that
People
come
are
from?
taught that shit.
They're just amateur hour bullshit.
Yeah.
They're not professional at life. You have to be a life professional. It's very easy to be a professional at the big things if you're a professional at all the small things. I'm never late. I'm always up at the time I said I'm going to be up. I never miss that phone call I'm supposed to miss. I don't misplace my shit. I did dumb, normal stuff. And I hang around normal people and they're like, oh, wait, where's my wallet? Wait.
Well, wait,
now
one sec.
I'm 10 minutes late. Of course you don't achieve shit. You're a fucking dummy. You have to get competence, and competence is going to allow you to have confidence. You're not going to be good at shit if you're bad at shit. You have to be good at things. You're only going to be confident at things if you're good at things. I know what I'm good at and what I'm bad at. So you have to go out there and take risks, and you have to make mistakes, and you have to risk it all. And once again, this comes down to competition. I think competition is such an important thing in the masculine world.
Yeah.
I grew up in the chess world, then I went into the fighting world. It was all extremely competitive. It's competition driven. You can't make excuses. If I sit here and say I lost a fight, cool, you lost the fight. But I lost the fight, but my gloves, when they were wrapped up, my hand was hurting, and then they
Excuses.
Bro, you lost, G.
Yeah.
Like, no one gives a fuck. Yeah. Like, you have to understand that excuses don't matter. Nobody cares. Life's binary. Winners or losers. And you just have to take absolute responsibility for all of this.